Are you looking for some inner peace? Hi, I'm Cora Naylor, certified coactive coach and emotion co-practitioner. As an empty nester, we may be going through a lot of emotions. Besides the kids moving out, there's a lot of other things going on with us, like hormones, caring for parents, and relationship issues. During this time, it's even more important to be following a self-care routine. So I've invited Megan Jeffries to join us today. Megan has a master's degree in teaching and uses her unique coaching methodology developed through her concentrated studies. 7+ years of intentional personal development, 15+ years teaching experience. Megan has a passion to help people maximize peace, joy, and beauty in life. And welcome, Megan.
Cora, thank you. It's so nice to be here with you today.
Yeah, it's fun to be talking to somebody from the other side of the world. Here it's 8 in the morning, and there you're at
Right, isn't it?
11:20.
7,000, 6,000 plus miles away, I think we are.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, it's so amazing what we can do these days. So you're going to talk to us a little bit about self-care today. So I'm curious, how would you define self-care?
Oh, that's a great question because I think self-care is so it's a term that's evolving from when it first kind of hit the scene several years ago, and the thought was just it's bubble baths, it's spa, it's like the treat yourself type of a idea. And it's in the midst of evolving, and you read all these articles about it's not only doing things that make you feel really good, but it's also doing things that are really important for your health, but you might not want to feel like doing. So my definition is really, really simple. It's simply caring for yourself and making the healthy choices to meet your needs. So caring for yourself and making the healthy choices to meet your needs. And the first step that I help my clients with is knowing themselves well so that they can tune into their needs and know which needs take priority and which what to focus on when. Because I find in self-care, that is kind of understated. It's not highlighted. We kind of try to force ourselves into a routine instead of sinking into our own rhythm and really tuning into our needs. And maybe it's rest, maybe it's exercise, maybe it's drinking some water. What is it that I need right now in this moment?
And so do you have some kind of way to get people to figure that out? Like, how do they determine what's the most important thing for them?
Yeah, well, a really simple way is to start making lists about what you love. Especially, I think empty nesters. Your client base is empty nesters, and I feel that mothers are so giving. We just had Mother's Day, and my brother posted a poem, and it's called The Lanyard. I don't know if you've ever heard it, but it's kind of like, um, my mother gave me life, she gave me breath, and at camp I made her a lanyard, and I gave it to her. So it's all about how my mother gave me all this stuff and I gave her a little lanyard, and we're supposed to be even that way. And it's just highlighting how giving mothers are. So we've just been such in the habit of like giving so much that shifting and taking that focus and having that time to focus on yourself again is a big adjustment. So the first thing is just to get to know yourself again and make those lists of like, what do I love? What are my passions? Maybe they've changed now from when I was before I had kids, right? And so that's just a simple way of like sitting with yourself and asking yourself those questions and then listing out, what do I love to do? What makes me happy? What makes me feel really good? What things that I eat give me energy? Like just really simple lists like that help.
And I think, like you say, it is awkward at first because we're not used to focusing. As moms, we're not used to focusing on ourselves. So even just trying to do that part can be tricky. And I know for me, a lot of my interests had changed over the years, and trying to figure out what's the new things that I like. Yeah, it's fun trying to figure that out. So you do
Oh my
work,
goodness.
yeah,
Yeah, it is. It's fun, right? It's a journey. It's like um, finding out who you are is always going to be something that's shifting and changing and growing as you connect with yourself more, I think, and deepen into yourself. So that is fun. And I like to think of it as a little child inside that you're taking care of. So it's not so much that I'm focused on me, it's the ego, but
mhm,
you're caring for that little one inside. So mothers will know how to do that, definitely.
yeah. And I think it's really important because sometimes I hear women saying, when you get to the 50-ish age group, oh, life's kind of over, and what's left. But these days, living so long, we have a whole nother lifetime after kids. So it's really important to tap into what do we want to do next and how do we want to be.
I love that, and I love your work with women because you've been there and you know where women are at with this being coming kind of just that transition in life where you're not sure where your place is, and you help them to just ease into that with such grace and flow so that they can, have that excitement and passion in life and really be able to sink into who they are now. Not just identify as a mother, but who am I now apart from motherhood? I love your work.
Yeah, thank you. And I know you work with women too, and so I'm curious, what's one thing that surprised you in working with women?
Oh my goodness, yes. That's a good question. I think the most surprising thing for me is the depth of how resilient the clients I worked with are, and just discovering they were giving from like zero. Like they had zero gas in their tank and they were still giving and not focusing on themselves, and still like their energy was still outward in focusing on others and giving to others. And I was just amazed. I was like, it takes a very resilient person to be giving from a tank that says empty, that says zero. So, yeah, I just encourage you, if you're listening today and you're feeling like you're running on empty, that is a huge red alert signal sign that you need to take time for your own self-care, and you need to take time for your emotional care. I teach women our seven worlds of care. So we have the emotional, we have the physical, and we have the spiritual. All these different spheres need to be taken care of, and depending on where you're at is what you focus on. So the women you work with might be focusing on their passion and their impact um, as they are now.
Yeah, yeah, I know it's amazing, and it is interesting how much the human body can do, like more than we ever think we can. Like you say, because someone can be on empty and yet still be doing all this stuff. It's just mind blowing, really.
Our mind kind of plays tricks on us sometimes, right? So we feel like maybe we can't go anymore, and then I think runners talk about experiencing that. I felt like I couldn't go anymore and my legs just kept going. So yeah, absolutely. Well said.
Well, and so what are your personal go tos when it comes to self care?
Um, the immediate, like the answer to this question immediately for me is meditation, daily meditation. When I discovered just a simple deep breathing meditation, and I have a simple guide if you're If the people watching want it, you can reach out to Cora or myself, and it's free for you. It's a PDF that you can download. And it's just a simple, deep breathing meditation for 5 minutes, 8 minutes a day. And that changed, 2 weeks of that changed my life. Like I stopped overthinking. I stopped over worrying. I had really high anxiety and my anxiety disappeared. I'm in charge of teaching these kids, large groups of children, and the noise levels, I'm a very sensitive woman. So the noise level was too much for me. So meditation helped just with all of that. So that is my go-to, is meditation. And then of course, daily water intake. There's a book called Energy Medicine for Women. It's wonderful. I believe they're still printing it and you can order it on Amazon, but I didn't check it out. Energy Medicine for Women. She has this energy routine that I do every morning that is just basically, it's moving your body, self-soothing, self-massage, anything that gets me into that sensual feeling of connecting to my body and presence is also another really good one that I use daily.
Oh, that sounds interesting. I haven't heard of that one before. I'll have to check that out. And definitely the meditation. I know a lot of people, especially these days, are even, anxious because of all the stuff going on in the world. And it's really important to find ways to relieve stress. I use the emotion code and meditation. And it's nice to hear someone saying, too, that you don't have to be meditating for hours. It can be something as little as 5 minutes. I think when people find out that 5 minutes a day can make a difference, then it sounds a little more doable.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
Especially if you've never done it before, once you get into it,
Yeah.
you can do whatever. But if you can
And there's
start
so
with 5 minutes.
Yeah, you start with 5 minutes, and there's so many different forms of meditation, which people kind of overlook sometimes. So, listening to a TED talk is a form of meditation. It's a focused in thing on one thing, you're in flow. Painting a picture is a form of meditation because you're focused, you're zeroed in, you're in flow. So, walking out in nature is a form of meditation. So, there's a lot of, sometimes we have this narrow view of what meditation is, like the monk in the temple sitting
Yeah.
cross-legged,
Yeah.
but it's so much broader than that.
Yeah. And I think even just focusing on one activity these days can be tricky because we all have our phones going. I know I'm bad for it. I'll have like all my devices going at the same time. So you're not really focused on anything. So if you can just focus on one thing, you're doing good.
So good. Yes, very good point.
Yeah. Now, I know that you also have some tips that you share with people too if they wanted to get. I think that's why I kind of reached out to you because I saw you had that on Facebook one day. If they want to get that list from you, they can get in touch as well.
Yes, I have another PDF that's, I think, 10 recipes for self-care. And there's a green smoothie in there, there's a cleaning solution, there's a chicken wrap that is my favorite so much. I love that so much. And there's recipes for baths that are really good for your skin. So yes, for sure.
Ooh,
That is also a free PDF that I'll make available to your audience. Um,
awesome.
yeah, sure,
Oh, that was
sure.
great. Sounds good. And that sounds like a fun way and a little bit different than, like you say, not just having a bath and, pampering yourself in that way. So a little bit more in depth self care.
For sure. It's all encompassing, definitely.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being on the show today, Megan. We learned a lot, and I'm excited to get your downloads myself and see what I can learn from there. And if anybody else is watching and you're an empty nester and you want to hang out with some empty nesters or maybe find out more about when other videos are coming up, just comment below with a yes, and I'll get you added into my empty nester group. So have a great day, everyone, and we'll see you next time.